Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
In my lifetime, I have seen the Cold War between the East and the West dissolve.
We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together.
In my lifetime, I've seen the Berlin Wall come down.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence.
In my lifetime, I have seen apartheid dismantled.
It is absolutely important that you have the knowledge to serve your country and your people.
In my lifetime, I've seen the man of color in the White House.
And out of many we are one, that while we breathe, we hope. And those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. Thank you. God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.
In my lifetime, I've seen grassroots movements topple governments through the use of social media.
I want freedom. Freedom. Only freedom. Freedom.
We can come together to heal segregation and redirect civilization to the celebration of diversity in oneness. We can make it happen. I am Brother Ishmael Tetteh, and I believe that world peace is possible in our lifetime. It begins with you and I now.
We look to you, God. So we look into the faces of our fathers and we say, we look to you. We look to your directing spirit. We look to your guiding spirit. We look to your spirit of strength and power. We look to your spirit of guidance and straightening. And in this, we know it is well with our souls. Thank you very much, Priscilla, and God bless you. Today, I'm taking us through a discussion entitled Fatherhood, the Pride of Manhood. Fatherhood, the Pride of Manhood. So, I would want us to take our reading from Ephesians 6, verses 4. And it's on the screen so we can read together. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Our second reading is 1 Corinthians 13:11. And again, shall we all read together? When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. And our last reading, 1 Corinthians 14:20. We read together. Brothers, do not be children in your thinking. Be infants in evil, but in your thinking, be matured. Do not be children in your thinking. Be infants in evil, but in your thinking, be matured. Now the title, Fatherhood, the Pride of Manhood. What is manhood? What is manhood? Manhood is a body of qualities that most men generally respect or admire in other men. A body of qualities that most men would respect or admire in other men. So what are these qualities we are talking about? These qualities simply would look at reliability and strength of character. Reliability and strength of character. So, and in this, we are looking at these qualities come with it responsibilities. Responsibilities of being the heads of families, the heads of clans, and the heads of tribes. That is manhood at the age when you have stepped into puberty. You're growing all of your hormones that makes you a man. So it allows you to take up responsibilities. That is when duties are given you. And you are groomed into becoming what? Heads of families, heads of clans, and then heads of tribes. Now we'll realize that this, right, brings along with it leadership qualities. Leadership qualities, and these leadership qualities are simply reliability and strength of character. As a leader, you need to be what? Very reliable. Such that in the absence of everyone else, as a leader, we would know that things would move on successfully. Again, manhood coming with it strength of character. Meaning that you have to be apt in your dealings. You have to be strong in your character and manners. And these characters, we are looking at what? Loyalty. We are looking at honesty. We are looking at courage. We are looking at what? Uprightness. And we are looking at what? Honor. As a man growing from the ages of what? 12 to 18 upwards, these are expected to show in your life. When you have successfully been groomed through this stage, which is the puberty stage, some time passed in our culture, there used to be what? Puberty rites. Because the elders at that time knew that from the age of 12, you must begin to be what? Responsible. Just as the Master Jesus said, at the age of 12, he said, I must be about my what? My Father's business. So, our elderly people knew that at the age of 12, you need to be groomed through puberty rites in which you are shaped into attaining all of these qualities of respect, honor, loyalty, courage, and uprightness. When you have successfully been groomed through this puberty stage as a man, so manhood, you have gained the certification into fatherhood. You have gained the certification into fatherhood. And fatherhood is not about a person who's been able to what? Donate a sperm, impregnate a woman, and a child is born. No. Fatherhood is about you, not those who have come through you, but those who you come through. That is all the traits you have gained through your puberty stage of loyalty, of honor, of respect, of uprightfulness. You are embodying these traits and coming through people, grooming them to become what? Greater persons than you are. That is fatherhood. So fatherhood, one who avails himself with wisdom. knowledge, strength, and maturity through the life experiences. And for that reason, you make other people's life better. That is a father for you. Not one who is giving birth. So if there are younger ones here who are even at the age of 15 and are so wise, are so knowledgeable, are strong, capable of defending, protecting, and being there, shielding the ground for others, you are a father. And this can also be represented even in females. Not necessarily men alone, but one who avails himself and stands the ground and ensures that he becomes the directing spirit, prompting, guiding, leading, encouraging, supporting others to become greater than he, she is. That is fatherhood for you. But what has happened? What has happened? We go through life, right? And then, in all of this, we are expected to present the best of attitude, the best of charisma, the best of our abilities every now and then. But what has happened? If we will take a look at our fathers, our brothers, our male members here who are above 50, with all due respect, can I have all those above 50 on their feet? Can I have all those who are above 50 on their feet? Thank you. Oh yes, that was the manly spirit trying to demonstrate itself. Yes. The father has been there, and I know. So, you can look through all those standing, and you can pray. No, don't be seated yet. You can look through all those standing at the moment, and you can attest to the fact that these men have gone through life experiences in a particular way of grooming from, let's say, ages of 12, 18, 25 till date. And they went through the hard male experiences, not the soft manner in which children are being raised today. So you can attest that their lives are greatly being successful. You can attest that their training was a unique one right from childhood. And to this we say, Ayiko to you, great men of our land, whom we look at and emulate. You may now have your seats. So Ayiko to you, great men of our land, whom we look up to and we emulate. You could tell that these men who stood have reliability. If you look through each one of them, they are reliable. Give them any task, it will be done. To the latter and successful. They have what? Strength of character. The character they emulate is exceptional. It is that which you would say, I wish I were that. I wish my son had that character and ability. But today, upbringing has become challenging for most parents. Those of us below the age of 50 downwards. Upbringing, you can tell that fathers in these ages were brought up in certain ways, and therefore they brought us up in some certain ways according to how they were brought up. But today, young men, it's Father's Day, so my emphasis is greatly on men, but it cuts across both male and females. Today, upbringing has become challenging for parents of my generation and below, because they themselves do not have what? Reliability and strength of character. That comes with the discipline through puberty. How come this became that way? You realize that most parents or fathers today are running, looking for money so that they ensure that the home is strong and built. And they are not available to be what? The very models for their children to emulate. Formerly, when the father is going to the farm, to the work, house chore activities, the children are involved in it, especially the men or the young men are involved in doing all of that. But today, the fathers themselves have to go out there, look for money, and therefore their presence is missing in the home for their young boys to begin to look into them and say, I am looking at this quality and this character and this strength of character from my father, so I grow into it. There's a vacuum in the home. There's a vacuum in the home. And therefore, our children today are lacking so many things. Again, in as much as we ourselves, parents of today, are not available, we have employed house helps, house boys, garden boys, and we are paying them through our toil to do all the jobs in the house. Formerly, you would go fetch water, you would sweep yourself, you would wash your daddy's car, you would do the cleaning, the girls are also in the kitchen before they go to school. But today, we have become so advanced, so rich, so capable, in quotes, such that we employ people to do the works that we are supposed to do together with our children and groom them into becoming, having reliability and strength of character. The house help or garden boy you have employed, to what degree has that person been groomed to groom your child for you? To come up with what? Discipline. And most times, it is the negative trainings sometimes we get from them. And our children begin to emulate something other than that which would groom them into what? Reliable citizens having strength of character. Another area where we are finding ourselves wanting is the area of technology. Today, formerly, you will have to walk miles to school. You will have to walk miles, so you wake up in the morning, you do all the necessary works you're supposed to do. When you're done, you walk to school. And that is exercise for you, isn't it? And when you exercise, you get stronger. But today, the children, they don't do any work in the house. They wake up straight to bathroom, food is prepared, lunch box is prepared, they hang it, go sit in their daddy's cars, and they are driven to school. They don't have what it takes to know what to do in the home. They are not also made to what? Exercise. So they are growing out of proportion. Out of proportion and weak. But as a man, one major quality you should have is what? Strength. So that you can be the protector of your territory. But what are we doing today? Parents of today bringing up children, what are we doing? We are doing great disservice to life. Thinking we are pampering our children and giving them the best of everything. Washing machines are gained. Dishwashers are bought. We are driven in cars, I have said that. Online delivery, instead of walking to the market to go and say, I am buying A, B, C, they will sit behind a computer from morning to night, either playing computer games or what? Ordering things, even food. They will sit behind a computer or on their phone and order the food they would eat. Instead of probably going to kitchen, helping in house chores, or walking to the food vendor to buy to gain the energy and exercise the body, everything is just put down on silver platter for our children. Again, our fathers, before my generation, they worked. They knew how to work. They knew how to make it. They knew how to assess things and get things moving. So, they will put assets down, properties down, ensure everything is extremely comfortable for children of today. Children of today, once the things are available, they are just in the use mode. In the use mode, not knowing how those things got there in the first place. So what happens? Misuse. Misuse without knowing how to maintain, because they have not been groomed through the puberty stage of reliability and strength of character. There's a calling here in this message I am given. Our generations past stood the grounds firm, but today it is shaky. Today it is shaky. And I am calling all of us, our attention to book, that we would rise and be the pillars, the directing spirits that directs, that leads, encourages. Children of today, they encounter the slightest problem and they don't know how, where to look for solution. All they do is cling, 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 mommy, daddy, I am stuck here. I need this. I am short of this. I am blah, blah, blah. And it is simply what? Provided. What are we doing to the generation of today? In as much as we love our children, everybody loves his, her child. I don't think our forefathers did not love their children for making them do all the house chores, go to the farms with them, ensure that they worked. I don't think they didn't love them. They loved them equally as we love our own today. So, we have what? Missed the mark. We have missed the mark, and that is what we call sin. So, fathers in our midst today, who are standing tall in strength, in reliability and strength of character, I say kudos to you. Kudos to you for what you have done in the past and still doing. But today, I am asking that we rise. We rise and become great leaders directing the path to raise citizens of great character. We rise beyond our too overprotective nature. We rise beyond our too providing nature. We rise beyond our too overcaring and overloving nature. sometimes the man's way is to be so hard on the child, and the mother would just come and comfort it. It is all necessary. The father's hard way is all necessary to shape, fine-tune, and bring the child up to the state where he begins to realize that it is not so luxurious, but I must rise up and get moving. So mothers, sometimes we need to what? Allow.
Ethereum Mission, we are not church Christians. We are Jesus Christians. In fact, I find it so strange that people go to church which is supposed to teach them spirituality, and there's no spirituality teaching in the churches. The Bible tells us in Genesis 1, 26 to 28, that God created us in his spiritual image and likeness. In Genesis 2, 7, and then God breathed the spiritual you into the dust, and you became a living soul. When we go through even scripture further, the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 44, says there is a natural body and then there is a spiritual body. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 tells you, know you not that you are the temple of the living God, and the Spirit of God dwells in you. There are people who are even afraid of the word spirit. Yet Jesus told us in John 4:24 that God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. All these confirm to us that you are a dual being. You have a natural human body, and then you have a spiritual body. And for each of these, you need the appropriate education for a holistic life. We receive natural education by secular education. Secular education takes you from primary school all the way to university for you to be able to provide for yourself good food, clothing, and shelter. Yet without the spirit, even the natural physical body is not animated to live. We're supposed to receive spiritual education from our spiritual or religious institutions, such as our churches, our mosques, whatever religion you belong to. But when it comes to spiritual education, almost all religious bodies are empty. I find it strange that you know you are spirit, you go to church for you to receive spiritual education, and you know the church is not giving you any spiritual education, yet people keep going. Wow. That's why I invite you to Ethereum Mission. Like I said, we are not church Christians, we are Jesus Christians. We follow what the Master taught, that you are spirit, and the Spirit of God dwells in you as you. The kingdom of God is within you, said the Master. Meaning, the power, love, and the spiritual presence of God is within you. I welcome you to spiritual study and growth in Ethereum Mission. Ideally, look for any Ethereum Mission branch and start your spiritual evolution. Because the first blessing God gave you was also your absolute imperative. It said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. Meaning that you are the very seeds of God, or the seed that God is, the presence that God is in you as seeds. And you are to grow them into trees and bear fruits of peace, love, joy. That's what the book of Galatians told you, Galatians 5:22 to 23. If you want spiritual growth, then you know where to come to. Peace.